Welcome back, people of Tamriel. I'm Xenocraft 1212, back with another Skyrim Special Edition mod showcase. And I'm sorry it's taken me this long. I've been super busy with school and finals and stuff. But in this video, we'll be talking about the Sword of the First Ember by N7R. Yep, that is the person's name, N7R. But what this does is it adds 3 different swords, and where I am standing right now is where you can find one, but they're also craftable. So, in front of me we have the first version, Sword of the First Ember worn, and it looks like you can make them at the very beginning of the game. You only need smithing level like 5, I believe it says. Scrolling through the... No, only level 1 smithing is required. And I'm trying to find what resolution they are. I'm not sure. They're very high res. And they'll show off what each one looks like. So there's a two-handed and one-handed version of each. This is the worn one that you can find in the world right here and also in another place. And here's what the new looks like. And I'll show off the two-handed version because it's easier to see. Or some sunshine. There we go. As you can see, it has a bunch of cracks and worn. Not worn. It is worn. Sorry about my nasaliness. I have fairly bad allergies, and it is spring right now while I'm recording this. But as you can see, it has these orange. To me, they look like glass, but they're supposed to be gems. And it has normal speeds. I think one-handed version looks exactly the same, it's just small. Actually, it might be the same size, it's just a one-handed version. That's literally the only difference. I actually want to test that out. Yeah, they are the same size. Yeah. One-handed, two-handed versions are exactly the same size. So, where you can find another, and so I believe the one we just picked up was one-handed version from right here. But you can find a two-handed version over by Solitude. At the end of this dungeon, at the end of Falgunther, is a two-handed worn version of the sword along with the shout. Anywho, where I created these things on my mod character and where I go almost every episode of this. See Dragonborn Crafting Hall. I have a video on that I made a really long time ago. My voice is probably a lot higher back then. There we go, hard drive. So I found out that the game is actually running as soon, like right now when it's black, the game is actually running and you can take damage and stuff. But you can't do anything. Just annoying. So I believe they can be crafted under steel. Oh, that looks awesome. This is another mod that I'm going to be showing off. That looks awesome. Anyways, they're either under steel or misc. I can't remember right now. There's so many things under steel. Nope. Here we go. Sword of the First Ember. Ignited. So this is the version we want to make. This is the version that looks the best. There's new versus ignited. I don't think there's a difference in the way they look other than there's power, so 75 damage versus 64, and also burns the target for 60 points, which is a lot. But in order to do this, as you can see, we need iron, leather, steel, charcoal, fire salts, and the Sword of the First Ember new. So when you find the worn or make the worn, you then need to turn it into new, and then turn the new one into ignited. But each version of the sword can be upgraded at a smithy, and the way that you can go about acquiring a fire gem is by killing a fire atronach, or atronak, or however you are supposed to pronounce that. And if you're wondering, here's the code for spawning fire atronachs. Oh yeah. And I believe I just barely killed it with a weapon that has not been upgraded yet. That was the worn version, although my one-handed is level 100. And there we go, fire gem. There's a 50% chance that they will drop a fire gem. Holy crap, it's worth a lot of money. That was worth way more money than I thought it would be. So then now we can just go to a forge, any forge in the world as far as I understand. Try not to skip it. Here we go. And we can make an ignited version. Ooh. And I'm only going to make one version because they look exactly the same as we've established as the one-handed and two-handed versions. Yeah, it definitely looks nice, and it can deal a ton of damage. So let's fast travel to a place where we can deal some damage. Trying to think. I always go to the same place. I don't have the bandit spawn codes up right now, so I can't just do that. But I always go to Silent Moon's camp. And usually there's no one there, but hey, it's worth a try. So I'm going to use this without upgrading it at all, but remember you can. So if you have any potions of like fortified smithing, which by the way, Skyrim is extremely unbalanced in the way that you can create like, well, if you have a mod that allows you to create enchantments that fortify enchantments, then you can fortify alchemy and then fortify enchantments and then fortify alchemy. Is there a time set command? That would be useful in this game. Instead of waiting, you can't wait when there's enemies nearby. Oh, they're chasing me. That's why.
Victory is yours.
So I'm level like 119 and can two-shot a bandit outlaw with this sword. And that's without any power attacks, it's just regular attacks. Or I can one-shot them.
Tell you what, you start.
Now, bandit outlaws are not the strongest kind of bandits, but they are not the weakest either. And like I said, everything scales with you, so the higher level you get, the harder everything becomes to kill. Yeah, clear skies. Wasn't sure if just the one word would do it. And I'm sorry if this is not as entertaining as you remember. I've been out of practice with these videos. Bandit Marauder, here we go. Here's the high level gun. 3. So 4 shots, probably 5 if I did not get the kill cam on it. Oh yeah. This is weird, all the stuff at Silent Moons hasn't been read yet. Well, I can read that after the video. But I hope you enjoyed. I definitely have been using this sword in my new just regular playthrough character, because you can craft it at the very beginning of the game and find it. So that's the useful part, is you can find it. And you can buy it from people. I believe I bought mine from the guy in Riverwood. From the... I can't remember which guy it was. I'm looking at the mod page right now, trying to find out. But also, it has a custom scabbard. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, a scabbard is solid, while a sheath is not. A sheath can bend, a scabbard cannot, just in case you're wondering. It's definitely higher res than the default stuff in the game, like that. That's cool, you can see the sword in it. Then the quiver there. I'm trying to figure out. So this scabbard right here is 4K. This scabbard seems to be lower than that, but I don't know, I can't tell. That's what it looks like up close. And I either bought it from Alvor or the General Goods
the college has been snooping around Sarkor. Mages in the burial.
May the gods walk
Yo.
the finest weapons and armor.
Your eyes are not looking very good right now, dude. I'd like to point that out. Okay, so I didn't get it from him.
All right, then.
Okay, it says they can be purchased at vendors, but don't expect it to be common.
Thank you and me.
So maybe
Trinkets,
it just
odds and ends,
has
that
like,
sort of thing.
a rarity value that's pretty high. Oh no, here we go. This is where I bought mine from this guy, and it can be found at other vendors, I would assume, but you just have to know the right people to get it from. Although really, you only need to buy it once, in my opinion. And you can also craft them, and if you really wanted to, you could console command it in, but if you want to know that much detail, then just go to the mod page. There'll be a link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed.
Hoppus isn't too friendly with strangers, but you seem alright.
You are too friendly, I'm trying to outro. So, until the next time, where we show off more mods. Goodbye.